All right, we got to pick up this forecast with what probably the lead is. By next weekend, we're probably going back into the storm track. So we're talking about a week from tomorrow. So it is early, so we can't get super specific, but we can start talking about confidence levels. 8 to 14-day precipitation outlook. This is a probability map. In other words, what you're seeing on the map on here, the deeper the shade of green, the higher the degree of confidence that precipitation in this time period will be above average. So there's a bit of a bullseye on the Pacific Northwest there. But if you look at the bay, we clearly fall within this zone. And we're going to start looking at this in this visit, but we're going to have to really couch this by saying it is early. So the details on this are likely going to change. And we're going to get more and more specific as we go along. Before we get to that, you still have a weekend coming this weekend, which looks fantastic. Take a look out the windows with me for a second. You probably noticed there is no trace left at all of that pretty impressive fall storm that came through here on Monday and Tuesday, and we have now gone back into late summer again. Your weekend's going to look like that, and it's going to feel like this. Go ahead, pick out your numbers. Look at the Santa Clara Valley. You're going to be in the low 80s. Look at the Tri-Valley. You'll be in the low 80s. Look at Half Moon Bay. 71-degree day at the beach. It'll be 75 in the city. Let's change our perspective on this a little bit, because to match the fact that we've got this beautiful weekend coming our way temperature-wise, there's another way to visualize the map. Beach hazard statement, all day Saturday. And this goes from Monterey through to Santa Cruz, all the way up through the Marin County coastline. There's going to be enough wave energy coming our way that the potential is there for sneaker waves on Saturday. So while it's sunny and warm and you think it's a great day to go to the beach, from the atmosphere standpoint, it is. But from the wave energy hitting the coast, sneaker waves, here's how that goes. You're hanging out at the beach, everything seems normal. And then 6 minutes goes by and all of a sudden a wave out of nowhere stretches 2.5 times farther up the beach than what you'd experienced all day. It just seems to be random. That's a sneaker wave. Can either knock you down or pull you out. And that is the concern on Saturday. So just keep that in mind if your plans do take you to the beach at all. All right, let's get into this bigger picture story now and go and find this potential for rain. We need to look up in the Gulf of Alaska and watch what happens. We've been watching an active storm track up here. Now it's kind of starting to reorient itself towards winter. There's another storm there now. But if we keep the wide view on the Pacific for a little bit, I'm going to let this play forward on the Futurecast, and you're going to see storm after storm comes out of the Gulf of Alaska. Most of them want nothing to do with us. And then watch this last one. Right there, we get a little bit of rain, perhaps as early as next Friday. That's a week from today. But that right there, that's the slug of moisture that looks better. Look at the structure on this. You see the timestamp on here. We're looking at next weekend. That's next weekend. You've got your wound up center of low pressure. You've got your tail here where the moisture is getting pulled in. I'm going to scale this down a little bit. Let's come in for a slightly closer look on this if we can. And instead of looking at it from this perspective, let's see if we can actually look at it a little more closely. The story is still the same. We're going to just kind of leave this here for now and come away with the notion that let's stay on top of the forecast for next weekend. Because the majority of, the two forecast models we would use to go long range like this are both pretty much in similar agreement here that we'll likely be able to see something come together from that system as it comes in. All right, let's get to the 7-day forecast. I'll show you what that looks like, because none of that even shows up until all the way at the end, Friday. Remember, we just watched that. There's this weak little wave of lighter rain that could come in on Friday before the better rain gets here for next weekend, and next weekend doesn't even show up in the 7-day forecast. So let's enjoy this weekend. You're going to be in the low 80s and plenty of sunshine inland. It's going to be great. As we just saw, it's going to be about 70 degrees at the beaches for Saturday and Sunday, and it'll be in the mid-70s for much of the bay. San Francisco will be at about 74. Peninsula will be like upper 70s. And then the clouds increase as we get into next week, and then things will get more interesting by the end of next week.